Welcome to our demonstration of Maryland's electric vehicle charger siting tool. This tool was developed by the Maryland Department of Transportation with a, for the purpose of assisting interested applicants to the NEVI Formula Funding Program, as well as the CFI Discretionary Grant Program. This tool consolidates data from a variety of different state and federal agencies that may be useful for applicants when determining if a site is a good candidate for one of the programs. So when you go to our siting tool, the tool will be open with our default settings. This will show all Maryland designated EV alternative fuel corridors, all charging EV charging stations by port level. So it'll show if it has a DC fast port, whether it has a level 2 port, or whether it has a combo DC fast level 2. The map will also show the 150 kilowatt DC fast stations that have at least 4 CCS ports, as well as those 150 kilowatt DC fast stations with less than 4 CCS ports. The map also shows the Justice 40 areas within Maryland. If you have a specific address, you can type the address in the bar at the top of the screen. If not, you can zoom in and out using your mouse or using the buttons at the left. I have an address, so I will begin typing. Your address will pop up, and you will need to click it twice in order to zoom in. So as you can see, we zoomed into our address, into the area surrounding our address. You can click on the icon at the right that will show all of the visible layers in the legend bar. So right now you can see within our area that we are within a Justice 40 area. We have an EV, a designated EV alternative fuel corridor running next to our site that requires infrastructure. We also have 4 EV charging stations nearby. 3 of them have level 2 ports, and 1 has DC fast ports. And while there are no 150 kilowatt DC fast stations within our property or right adjacent to our property, we can see that over here there is one DC fast station that has less than 4 ports. You can turn on and off layers by clicking the eye icon next to a layer's name. This will allow you to view other layers. So right now we're seeing the Justice 40 area. We can turn this off and we can look to see whether we're in a historical disadvantaged community, or maybe we are within the DOT disadvantaged community. This is currently an experimental layer. We can also look to see how many EVs are registered within the zip code that our address is located within. You're able to click on each of the layers and a pop-up will provide more information about the layer. So we clicked on the EV charging station. We can see the name of the charging station. We can see the address, as well as the level and type of ports that are available. So we can see that there are 3 level 2 ports at this charging station. If you have overlapping layers, you can then use this tab to the next layer. And so you can see that our address is within the zip code that has 113 EVs registered. You can also increase and decrease the transparency of the layer by clicking on the 3 dots next to the layer's name. So we know that our area is within a Justice 40 area. And we can increase the transparency and see that when we have multiple layers on, we can see that it overlaps with Maryland sustainable communities. So it allows you to see which layers overlap with each layer. When you're done, um, when you're done looking at your site and you want to go back to and look at a different area, you can click the home icon in the left corner and it will take you back to the original extent so you can see the entire state of Maryland. So, in addition to being used for electric vehicle charger siting, this tool can also be used for grants for the four other alternative fuels located within Maryland. So, this includes hydrogen, CNG, LNG, and propane. These alternative fuel corridors, as well as their stations, can be turned on and off in the sidebar. So, I'm going to go ahead and turn off all of the infrastructure related to EVs. And I'm going to turn on um, the infrastructure related to CNG, as well as our NHS, interstate, and US routes. So you can see, so now you can see where in Maryland we have our CNG fueling stations. So within Baltimore, some within the DC area, in Frederick, and Aberdeen. And you can also see that we have one designated CNG alternative fuel station that does require infrastructure. You will notice that for some of these other alternative fuels that we do not have fueling infrastructure. So for instance, if you turn on hydrogen, while we have hydrogen alternative fuel corridors nominated, there are currently no fueling stations available within Maryland. This concludes our demonstration. Please note that all of the data in this map will be updated as the new data is made available. And MDOT does have plans to include additional data within the next few weeks and in the upcoming months. If you're looking for any additional resources, you can you can use the link here that will direct you to Maryland's NEVI plan site. Thank you so much for joining us.